it's only day one, and I'm losing my mind because I'm already changed.
Incredible, and so many connections. It's crazy.
I came to take my speaking to the next level. They took my life to the next level.
Ain't no competition when you make it to the top.
More family time, more abundance. You've been made for more. Either you're in the midst of adversity, just came out of adversity, or you're about to head into some adversity. So you better be prepared for it either way.
Don't miss it because it's life-changing.
Going to practice, I'm getting good grades, I'm busting my butt on the field. It's just like, coach, you don't see me yet? My peers like, man, you a baller, like, why you ain't playing? I get to the point where I'm moving up in the depth chart, second string, I'll start, and next thing you know, boom, I'm back to scout team right before the season. And then when you ask questions like, coach, why I'm not playing? My dad used to call it the customer service answer. It's like, hey, just keep doing what you're doing. You'll get there. I'm like, man, it's been 3 years. When I'm gonna get there? I ain't got much time left. And next thing you know, I'm getting kicked out of school.
Oh, little fish, big pond, big splash, big bag. Little fish, big pond, big splash, big bag.
Man, we got a very special guest. I believe we're gonna watch a video first. So let's hit the video and we'll bring our guest up.
The Seattle Seahawks select Shaquem Griffin.
Just no shock at all who's in the backfield. Shaquem Griffin.
Growing up as a child, being told what I couldn't do, you know what I'm saying, that it can weigh heavy on your heart. But I had family, I had my brothers, I had those around me to keep my head straight.
Don't die, please. Streets on fire, fire. Streets on fire, fire.
Y'all give it up for Shaquem Griffin.
Yeah. Welcome. Yes, sir.
Man, let's get right into it. Man, you know what's so funny, man? I don't know if I told Jay this, but I was telling Shaquem yesterday. My son was probably 3 or 4 years old, and we were sitting on the couch when your story came on. Yeah. And he watched it. My son was just like, Dad, there's no way. How did he do it? And so for the longest, God had put on my spirit, like whenever he done playing ball, he gonna be a speaker and y'all gonna connect with him and he gonna be a part of y'all circle. And so give it up for the manifestation of that.
Appreciate that.
I just felt his energy and he just got, such a positive spirit and, a glowing spirit. So.
And let me say this. So when I told Tracy, my wife, that you was gonna be here with us as a special guest, I was like, you know what I'm talking about? She was like, yeah, Negro. She was like we watched some draft night. And I was like, that's right, because we was both like emotional. Like, I didn't even know you like that, but just your story, bro, it was just hella inspiring, man.
I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, let's get right into it, man. You told me you were, and I want to set the stage for some people who may not be as familiar with the story. You were born with
amniotic band syndrome.
Amniotic band. Tell people what that is.
So amniotic band syndrome is initially the umbilical cord wrapped around my wrist. And it was caused because me and my brother was super close, twins. We still super close. And the doctor from my wrist, but it could lead to me having the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck. So my mom was like, you know what? We'll leave it in God's hand and just let it happen.
Yeah. And so as a result of that, then you come out and your hand has some issues.
Yes, so due to the umbilical cord being around my wrist, it cut off a lot of circulation. So I had the fingers initially, but it was only tissue, no bone density, no anything. So that being said, it was tough to really do a lot of stuff. I couldn't really do a lot of things physically because it was sensitive to touch. I remember telling you yesterday, I grew up, we had bunk beds pushed up against the wall, and every time I would roll over and hit my hand on the wall, I'll get cuts and I'll wake up screaming and crying. So I can't even imagine, obviously I don't remember from 1 to 4, but I can't even imagine how much my parents was going through having a child wake up and not knowing how to really stop the pain from happening.
Yeah, and then at 4 years old, your mom walked in on you. What was going on at 4?
When I was 4 years old, I woke up one morning. I hit my hand on the wall again. I don't know why I kept doing that. But I was really done with the pain, and I ended up going into the kitchen and taking the kitchen knife out, and I was trying to remove my own fingers, and my mom was screaming and caught me just in time before I made a mess of myself.
Wow. Wow.
So you can imagine, that, and then, you said you would go on to later, just get the hand removed. And, the craziest thing is, like, most people would be thinking, like, the trauma, this. How did you feel when you finally got it removed?
So when I finally got it removed, my mom said, don't go outside and playing with these bandages on, because I don't want you coming in the house with a dirty bandage. It went through one ear, not the other. I was playing the same day, playing football with my brothers after surgery, and yes, I got in trouble for coming back home with a dirty bandage.
Yeah. But you said for the first time you didn't have the pain, so you was like, let's go, because you couldn't play sports before that. You couldn't do anything because the pain was so intense if you just even bumped it against something. So for the first time now you're experiencing what your brother been going and doing and all of that, right?
Yes, I can honestly say after having my hand removed, it kind of really opened doors for me. It kind of gave me a sense of I can do something. I can believe in something now. At first, I watched my brothers play, and I got older brothers, and I'm the youngest of 4. So watching them play, football in front of the house, and I couldn't play. And then eventually now I got these fingers removed. Now I'm getting picked on the team. Now I'm the one that get to play with my brothers and stuff like that. So it actually helped me to dream bigger, honestly. So it wasn't what I lost, it was what I was gaining.
Come on, y'all. Give it up for Shaquem, man.
That's good.
And this story, y'all, like as we get into it, it's so layered and complex, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Shaquem is now speaking and traveling the world, and we're working on his keynote and getting his stuff all the way tight. But so now you kind of get freed up. You got your arm, and then let's start talking about how the doubters started to come into play even early on, right? Because we obviously saw the video. We know you ended up making the NFL. Which is incredible. The first person ever in your situation to make the NFL.
Thank you.
Come on.
But I'm thinking like, okay, you out there killing. Everything should be smooth sailing. Like, what's the, I don't care what you think of me, like walking in, but talk about even from a young age, then how that started to impact people and what they thought you could do and how you could move and the whole nine.
I can truly say in each phase of my life that I had to deal with some type of doubt or somebody telling me how impossible it is. But my first encounter when I was 7 years old, and I was getting ready for a playoff game, and the coach was telling me like, "Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a two-handed sport, and I don't want you to get hurt out there." And for a grown man to tell a kid that, "Hey, I don't think this is it for you," that was my first time to say either I'm gonna listen to what he say, or I'm going to back up what I've been doing and to show you what I actually can do. And that was the first time where I had to persevere and overcome that first adversity to do something. And honestly, being 7, it could have went either way. For any kid that was receiving that type of doubt, could have been like, you know what, maybe you're right. Maybe I should just tell my parents, let's pack it up and go home. And it was a playoff game for us to go to the championship, and I just remember having my first interception ever.
Come on. Come on.
And it's crazy because a lot of people are like, how do you catch the ball? And this is a story itself. My dad would throw the ball at me over and over again. He'd say, you know what, son? You're going to stop the ball from hitting your face. He was right. he was right. And the fact that I was doubted by this coach, and next you know, I had the game-winning interception. I remember throwing the ball to the coach. Like, it's time for your team to pack it up. I said, y'all season over. That was reinforcement for me.
Yeah. And so you gotta overcome, and then you get to high school, and so you heard the story. His twin brother, who still plays in the NFL for the Texans. These dudes, I've never heard anything like. You hear how twins is like connected. Like these dudes, like it's like scary on another level. Yeah, how him and his brother are connected. But high school. And now here you are, and you balling out, and you're playing good. Your brother playing good. Let's talk about the recruitment process now, and like what was going on during that time.
See, a lot of times, a lot of people don't know that I was getting highly recruited too. My brother was just getting recruited more. But yeah, I had.
Shaq stopped me yesterday. Was like, man, the story out there that like he had all these offers and I ain't had none. He said, I had 30-some offers. Yeah. He said ESPN, they fabricated that part. Yeah. I was out there doing my thing.
Yeah.
But when we was 9, me and my brother made a package deal, like we locked in. We gonna go to the same college. We gonna get the same degree. We gonna marry twin girls. We gonna.
Oh, y'all was all in on
we 90%. We 90% sure on it. We didn't get the twin girls part, but I can live without that. But we created a package deal. My brother was getting recruited from Florida State, Alabama. He was getting recruited by Miami, and I didn't get them same recruits. And when he had the offer from Florida State, the coach asked him, "Are you okay with going without your brother?" And he was like, "Honestly, coach, you can keep your scholarship because if you ain't taking both, we can't have none of us." And that was the signature interview that told all the colleges around the country, like, it's either all of us or none of us.
And you tried to tell bro, like, hey, man, you got Florida State, bro. Like, go ahead.
I was trying to tell him, in my heart, I didn't want him to leave, but I was telling him,
that's real.
You wasn't super convincing.
That's real.
I was
go
like,
ahead if
hey,
that's what you got to do, bro.
This is a huge opportunity, and Florida State and Miami was one of our favorite schools, you know, being a Florida guy. And it was like, man, everything that we talking about is right in front of you. And it was just like, nah, you in front of me. So it's just like, either we gonna do it together or we ain't gonna do it at all. So I was like, man, I ain't gonna say no more.
100%. So then y'all end up going to Central Florida.
Yes.
And I'm assuming from there, because you hit the NFL, everything was smooth. You just start balling out, and y'all won. And
No.
So what happens at Central Florida?
So on our way to Central Florida, remind you, like I said, we was recruited highly. And when I first got to campus, I thought I'm finna be on top of the world. I'm that guy. I got magazines on campus. You know, we walking up, my parents moving us in. We had girls at the dorms like, hey, congratulations, we glad you're here. Celebrating. I was like, man, we them dudes. And next thing you know, boom, 3 years go by, and I'm not seeing the field at all. Trying to wonder what's going on. It's like, I'm going to practice. I'm getting good grades. I'm busting my butt on the field. It's just like, coach, you don't see me yet? My peers like, man, you a baller. Like, why you ain't playing? I get to the point where I'm moving up in the depth chart, second string. I'll start, and next thing you know, boom, I'm back to scout team right before the season. And then when you ask questions like, coach, why I'm not playing? My dad used to call it the customer service answer. It was like, hey, just keep doing what you're doing. You'll get there. I was like, man, it's been 3 years. When I'm gonna get there? I ain't got much time left. And next thing you know, I'm getting kicked out of school. The coach is saying that he don't think that this program is a fit for me, and he wanted to see if my brother can do well without me, so I'm gonna send you home for a few months. And next thing you know, I'm home working 2 jobs, touring from 6 a.m. to 6:30, working out from 7:30 to 8:30, and going to clean at Dodge from 9:30 to 1 a.m. And I feel like that was the point in my life where it's like I didn't know I was gonna get back. I didn't know what to really believe in, but one thing that I was able to hold on to was my brother calling me every single day. After his practice, I got my neon green shirt, my Wrangler jeans, and whatever shoes I can find in the garage, going to work. And he was like, hey, keep having faith. Keep going. Stay focused. Don't let this define you. Don't let this define you. If you don't want it, don't take it. If you don't want it, don't take it. And I'm like, man, okay, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. But he'll call me every day. And then it was a moment where the coach had asked my brother to come to the office and say, hey, we're going to send your brother to JUCO to finish his career and get his degree. And my brother's like, well, if he's going to JUCO, I'm going to JUCO too, so you can get our transcripts. Because if you don't believe him, I'm going to always believe him, so I just believe him somewhere else then. And he walked out the room and quit.
Bruh. And he was starting at that time. He's the man.
He was solidified.
He was solidified. He's starting, and he told coach, if bro can't go, I'm not going. And so they came to their senses.
Oh, yeah, they couldn't lose him.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Nice little leverage piece. And then you come back to campus, and what happens now?
When I come back to campus, the coach was trying to do everything in his power to kind of degrade me to quit. So he had me cut my hair off. It's longer now again, but he had me cut my hair off where it won't go past my chin. And he thought I was going to give up because, you know, it meant something to me. And what kind of stood out is how much belief my brother has. Like, I don't care what they do to us, bro. If me and you together, we good. He's like, I'll cut my hair off too. And mine, he was a starter. He solidified. He said he tried to quit and they won't let him go. So he know it don't matter if he have his hair or not. But he was like, the coach told me, Shaquem, you don't cut your hair, you can't play for me. My brother's like, I'll cut my hair too. So my mom on the phone. You know, my brother's girlfriend at the time was cutting our hair. We're both crying. You know, it's degrading, and this guy who's trying to break us down, break us apart. And what stood out that was was so strong, it started making me believe, like, you know what?
Come on.
There ain't no point in looking back no more.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. You know what's interesting, man, about the story, you cut the fingers off, you go throughout elementary, middle school, high school, y'all get drafted, or you get recruited, you're at the college, like all of that. But the bond that your brother had with you, the covenant that y'all made in a sense together, and his support for you is key. I'm sure that's a part of your message when you talk to people. It's like, who's in your ear? You know what I'm saying? Who do you surround yourself with, right? Like, who are the people that speaking life to you to help you really see what's possible? Because we all go through opportunities and moments where we begin to doubt ourselves, when we start to question ourselves, but sometimes it takes that one person that can really speak life and remind you and keep you grounded. The fact that he was calling you every day while you was working them 2 jobs, 14 hours a day, then he was just like, bump that, you got to come back, or I'll go to JUCO if he go to JUCO, and then he cut his dreads off. Like, talk about what that did for you on the inside, on an even deeper level to make you say, and then, did it perform, or did it have you perform even harder on the field when you was practicing?
I can definitely say that, but what it did for me inside was, even though I was going through this traumatic time, even though I was in I feel like my darkest hour, or what I tell people is my gray period of my life, where it's like, I don't know what's next for me. My faith is being tested, my belief is being tested, but it's like the people around me wouldn't allow me to lose that faith, wouldn't allow me to lose that belief. And what mustered up in me was, the only thing I was lacking was believing in myself. So I got all this on full display. My brother believing, he telling me to keep going, like, don't lose it. I got you, don't lose it, you got this. My older brother used to always tell me, because I worked with him cleaning the building, and I'm gonna just tell you the story because you gotta hear it. When I was cleaning the building at Dodge, it was a women's bathroom that I had to clean. And I don't know if anybody ever cleaned a women's bathroom. Woo! At first, I thought it was the closest thing to heaven, but I was wrong. I don't even know if she got her credit score ran over and over again and somebody messing up her credit, but it was a bloody mess in there. Yes. And my older brother, I don't know if it was a joke, he only ever gave me 1 glove. He never gave me 2. I get it, but at least half extra, right?
I get it.
And I put the glove on and it ripped. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna try to clean it. And when I started cleaning it got all on me. And I remember dropping to my knees. I started crying, and my brother, it was rough. I broke to my knees. I started crying, and I was just like, this is my life. This is my life. And my older brother came in and lifted me up. It's like, this is not your life.
Come on.
It said, it's only your life if you make it. It was like, now get your butt up and clean this bathroom.
He lifted you up. Yeah.
Man, and yeah, that's tough. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, that's tough.
Hi, my name is Jeremiah Brown. I'm a father, husband, and retired NFL football player. Before joining the Next Level Speakers Academy, I was speaking for free. And to be honest, I enjoyed it because I was living my passion. However, once I joined the Next Level Speakers Academy, that was when I was able to turn my passion into a productive and profitable situation, earning me 6 figures in my very first year. Now, due to the marketing and branding that come with joining the Next Level Speakers Academy, I am honestly making 6 figures a quarter at this point. As a professional speaker, it's positioned me to take care of my mother and my family, something that I only thought I'd be able to do as a professional football player. Now, as a professional speaker, with the guidance and just structure that comes with joining the Next Level Speakers Academy, Jeremy Anderson and the Next Level team have literally changed my life. And it literally is all because I'm standing on stage, telling my story and using my gift, a gift that I always had inside of me, but joining the Next Level Speakers community really helped bring it out of me, and I'm forever grateful.
So you at Central Florida, and I want to get through the story, and there's some points I want to take away, because I also want you to talk to them about what it takes to talk to professional athletes, right? Because there's people in here who do want to speak to sports teams, and I want to know, like, what do they need in the locker room? We have an idea, but you played in the NFL. You know what these boys need to hear. Yep. But so now you get this new life at Central Florida.
Yeah.
You come out there, and what happens when you get your shot?
When I got my shot, it was really no more looking back. You know, we had a coaches change, and You know, shout out to Scott Frost for allowing me the opportunity. But he came in the office, it's like, why haven't you been playing under the old staff? Like, your film looks good. And I just remember lifting up my hands. And I was like, Coach, I don't really know what else to tell you. And he was like, so you telling me because you had one hand, he didn't let you play? He said, it's never been done before. It's like, and I'm not going to allow it to be here. And Coach Frost was like, well, this is your shot. Show me what you got. And I remember literally he moved me from safety to linebacker. And like first time on pads, he seen me just flying across the film, and I ended up crushing a running back. And he was like, that's our starter right there. And then the first game, the first game of the season, you know, and mind you, this is my brother's senior year. This is our first time playing next to each other.
So your brother's a senior, you're a junior.
I'm a
you're
junior.
a year behind him because you redshirted, he didn't.
Yes. And
okay.
And now it's our first time in years that we played next to each other.
Yep.
And I remember running behind the running back the first play, and I literally stopped and started throwing up. All the anxiety, everything was just rushing up. And once again, my brother grabbed my helmet. I don't know if I still had throw up on my face, and he still grabbed my helmet. It was like, listen, you've been waiting for this for the longest. Play football. You do this. They're like, shake all that stuff off and let's go play and have fun. And then, boom, 3.5 sacks later, 4 tackles for a loss, a pass.
Come on.
Tackles, and now the world see me.
So, man, bro goes on. He gets drafted by the Seahawks. You come back for your senior year. Y'all go 12-0, right? Some say national champion. I mean,
no, we was national champions. We were the only team in the whole country who didn't lose.
So you got to be the champions for that, then. So let's talk about the accolades from junior year. You make all conference.
Yeah, I made all conference, first team All-American, defensive player of the year, and now I had a draft stock at the time.
Yeah.
I was ready to go. I was like, bro, I'm going with you. Let's go.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, you stay. It's like you waited too long for this moment.
Yep.
I said, you stay and enjoy yourself. He said, I'm finna go road map this NFL stuff out, and then when you ready, we gonna walk it together.
So bro goes on, he gets drafted by the Seahawks. You play your senior year, ball out again, and you had a funny story. You go to the combine, and everybody knows what the combine is when you go work out for the NFL. And tell them the story about Pete Carroll and the 40.
Oh, yeah. So
it's a linebacker.
Yeah.
He ain't little, so you know what I mean? Go ahead.
Well, at the time, I was 230, and during the combine, you have meetings with several different coaches around the league, and I remember having a meeting with Pete Carroll, and he was like, man, your brother's fast. He said, you the same way? I was like, yeah, I'm fast, pretty fast. And he was like, what time you gonna run? I was like, what's fast to you? He was like, well, for a linebacker, 4.5, 4.6. I said, Coach, I didn't ask you what's fast for my position. I said, what's fast to you? 4.4, 4.5. I said, Coach, pay attention. I'm gonna run a 4.3. Oh no. I ain't gonna lie, my brother didn't believe it. My brother was like, man, you too heavy to run a 4.3. I say 4.4. It's all right. I'm telling you what I'm gonna run. I just gotta show you. I told Pete Carroll, I said, make sure you watching, because I got a surprise for you. And I remember walking up to that line, I said my prayer, and I got down. And soon I took off and finished. I just remember, when you finish, you don't know what time you ran.
Yep.
I remember the camera coming up, and I was like, happy birthday, mama. It's my mom's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know what my time was. And I walked back, Deion Sanders like, boy, you just broke the record.
Fastest linebacker ever with a 4.3 in the 40.
Wow.
Fastest time ever by a linebacker.
Wow.
And so, I mean, you can just imagine what's going through your head now. And then, I mean, I don't even have to, like, it ain't probably ain't no surprise to y'all. You get drafted by
Seattle Seahawks.
Same team, his twin. I don't know if y'all understand that. Like, they don't do that in the NFL to be cute. Like, you only got so many picks. They not about to be like, oh, your brother, like, maybe like the kiddie ball where it's like, oh, your little brother over there, come over here. They don't do sympathy picks in the NFL. No. So, by God's grace, you and your brother back on the same team together in the NFL. What does that feel like?
It's honestly crazy. They said we had like a 0-point-something chance. I don't even know what the number was. It was super low for us to play together. But I was on the verge of going in the second round. But like you said, by the grace of God, I ended up falling back, not knowing, like, man, will I not get drafted? And then, boom, I remember using the restroom. I was like, man, you know what? I ain't even looking at my phone no more. Whatever happens, happens. I don't fail back in the draft. I don't know where I'm going now. At first, I thought I was going to the Steelers in the second round, and I'm using the restroom. My brother busted in the bathroom and said, answer this phone. I know this number. I know the area code, and I answer the phone. It's Pete Carroll. Asked me if I'm ready to get picked at 141 to go to the Seattle Seahawks.
Wow.
Insane. And you know what's so crazy? Like, bro, you talking about All-American, you killing your junior, senior year. You go to the combine, you're a linebacker running 4.3, you supposed to go top 5.
Right.
And so I told Shaquem, we was talking yesterday, I was like, bro, why you ain't go top 5? He was like, politics, bro. And I was like, yeah, I hate politics. What kind of politics you talking about? Because I'm looking at the stats. He was like, see, my arm, bro. Like, don't make it deep. Like, you know what I'm saying? They still, and I'm like, wait a minute. You high school,
right?
Then in college, you went and killed. You go run the 4.38. They see the film and they still doubting you. How did that feel after you? Because I think a lot of us, we like, okay, I proved myself. Little league. Yeah. Now middle school, high school, college. I keep doing it. Now I go to the combine, run the fastest time ever by a linebacker. I guarantee anybody else who was a 2-time All-American, who had all the tackles he had, and run a 4.3, you might be the first pick. I don't want to.
No, 100%.
You might be the first pick overall. Yeah. And now here you are sliding to the 4th round. I mean, what does that do for you internally?
I mean, honestly, it was expected, but I was still hurt to feel it. You know, like I said, it was every single phase, from little league to college, now to NFL, and I thought I did enough to solidify, like, I am a football player. But, you know, honestly, it's crazy because, like, I always had to do triple the amount of work anybody else had to do. And like I told you before, I think it was yesterday, where it's just like, you know, if I'm going to catch a ball and if I drop it, it's because I got one hand. If somebody else dropped the ball with 2 hands, it's because maybe the ball was slippery or it was a bad pass. So I used to literally stay up, and I used to catch 200 balls a day before I even got to the combine. Like, I had to make sure that I ensured that I'm going to catch this ball and I'm going to make things happen. But I say it's politics because a lot of general managers didn't want to see. They didn't think like, oh, he can get drafted with one hand, but what if he don't make the team? That's going to look bad for me. Pete Carroll believed I was going to make a team. And next thing you know, my rookie year, I'm starting versus the Broncos the first game of the season. So now all them doubters, they can be a little quiet now.
Straight up. Yeah. So question. So what is your message now? Now that you're speaking full time, like, what is your message now after playing in the league all that time? What is your message now, and what's the main audience you speak to?
My main audience is just really has been. I've been all over the place, honestly. Like,
straight up.
I didn't know anything about the main audience until I got here. You know,
tell me about some of the different audiences you spoke to.
I mean, I spoke to schools, I spoke to colleges, I spoke to high schools, I spoke to NFL teams, I spoke to Fortune 500 companies, I spoke in Toronto, I spoke in Germany.
Come on.
And I was just going, you know, and my only message was to be an adversity beater. You know, it's one thing that I know everybody got in common is we all gonna go through it. I don't know what size yours going to be. I don't know. They all come in different shapes and sizes. They come from the dark. They come from the light. I don't know which one going to be yours, but I know if you already overcame 1, you can overcome 2. If you already overcame 2, you can overcome 3. And you can just keep on going, make it muscle memory.
So, real quick, to the people who want to talk to athletes and, like, just in general, right? Like, what is a professional athlete, if you come in, what does somebody need to be able to offer them in terms of mindset? I heard you talking yesterday, you was talking about, shout out to B-Wags. Bobby Wagner was one of the first people who taught you that it's okay to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
As a big, strong NFL kid and linebacker and stuff like that. What could one of these speakers, and you've been here with us this weekend, what could they impart into a locker room, or if they wanted a, you know, life coach or something along those lines, somebody who's in that position in the NFL, what do you guys need at that level?
A reminder. A lot of the time it's a reminder. And one thing I know about sports and being around a good team and people around you, people who are sometimes are vulnerable, people you can go speak to about life, one thing about it is they always around you to encourage you. When you're around good brothers, a good team to want to pick you up, it's important. And the thing is, sometimes you go through certain adversities where it's just like you so stuck on the adversity that you forgot that you can beat this. That you can overcome this. And for teams and for players, they just need another reminder. They need you to pick them up, because right now, some team may lose, some team may have a lot of wins, but at the end of the day, they need a reminder to say, you know what, you're going to go through adversity, and it's expected, but don't let the adversity define you. Don't let adversity define what this team can be. And for me, is like I just talked to Seattle Seahawks a couple of days ago, and that was the whole message. They had a bad loss. They lost by like 30. And everybody was coming around moping. Everybody was coming around sad and mad. Like, oh, man, I don't believe this is our season. I was like, no, it's not. Y'all letting one bad game define what kind of team y'all are. Like, I seen the guys that y'all have on this team. I seen the energy that y'all have and how y'all feed off each other. That game y'all had yesterday, I don't know if somebody was going through something. I don't know if somebody was going through any adversity, but it's like, if you don't know how to bring the energy, learn how to feed off the energy from the guys around you. Feed off of them. I literally live by it. I didn't have the juice. I didn't have the energy, but I fed off my brother. I fed off of him so much that it woke my belief up. So I'm telling them, it's like, feed off the guys. If you're going through something, and I know, I ask everybody, hey, raise your hand if you either went through adversity or going through it right now. Everybody raised their hand. So you looking around the room, just know your brother's going through stuff too. And there's one guy that I gave props to was Jamal Adams on that team, coming off an injury, you know, praying and hoping that he'll get back. And as soon that he got back on his field, he let his energy and juice be on full display, and you can feel like it raised the whole team up. And I asked, I was like, when you see that guy jumping up, when you see this guy happy to be back and be around y'all, can you feel his energy? It's like, yeah, I feel it. It kind of juiced me up. I was like, that's the examples of feeding off somebody who can pick you up. If you're going through something, look at somebody who went through something also and feed off that energy until yours wake up.
That's big.
You know what I think is so deep is, you know, that message could hit hard in the corporate space. You know what I'm saying? Like creating the right type of culture within the organization. And as opposed to, if you all are a room of employees, as opposed to waiting for the senior management to boost that energy, it's like you can give that spark. You can give that boost of energy. You can breathe that light. Like you can be the one to bring the excitement, to boost the morale. So I feel like even that message and that story, but like regardless of what you got going on, somebody next to you was struggling, you know what I'm saying? And just that mindset shift, I see that message could cross over in that corporate space as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
For sure.
Yeah, no, and so you've been watching this weekend and seeing what people, you know, are doing and speaking and all of that. And he's new, right? You just started a year ago. Like, he just made his transition from out of the NFL into speaking. What's been, like, the toughest part of speaking for you, or getting your message together, or, you know, the traveling, or, you know, what has this world been like for you?
I feel like this world been for me is trying to find ways to give myself grace. I feel like playing football, I prep, I write. I try to, you know, I seen a lot of, like you said today, you know, trying to mimic or trying to, you know, revise a script verbatim. Like, I used to be the same way in the beginning. And then I got to the point where it's like, I just need points to hit. Like, I know my story. I just need to know where I'm going. And that allowed me to find more comfort. Like, I did 28 speeches so far over the course of a year. And for my first one, I was like, I gotta be perfect. I gotta be perfect. And I'm literally watching my film like, oh, I missed a word, and I'll beat myself up. And, you know, shout out to my girlfriend, she'll lift me back up. Like, no, it's like, you okay? Like, you did good, and you only gonna get better. Like, you messed up on one word. Why you beating yourself up? And it's like, I'm sorry, that's just what I know. And it's like, in this space is, you gotta understand that you gotta give yourself grace, and each rep that you have, it's gonna be better than your last. And I'm starting to see that, and then being here, you getting these tips that you can really acclimate into your scheme, put it into your toolbox. And it's just like, for me, I was by myself at first, and, you know, thank God that you guys reached out to me, and because, like, I was just telling them before, like, I need a new locker room. I need new vets. Like, I need people to look up to. It's like, I need that help. And it's like, being around here and, you know, seeing the vulnerability of everybody who's here, it's like, it's important. Like, you should embrace every second of this, because some people don't have that type of support.
Facts.
Real quick, and I hope you don't mind, you know, you were moved yesterday to kind of talk about some vulnerabilities, and I thought this was, you know, to be honest with you, bro, I appreciate you sharing that. And my brother right here is the king of vulnerability. I tell Jeremy that's his secret superpower. Jeremy would get up and be like, I don't care. Him and Tracy could have had an argument 2 seconds ago. He gonna get up and tell you about it. I'm like, dog, my wife will murder me. You know what I'm saying? But Jeremy just be like, hey, God, you know, some kind of way him and Tracy got a covenant. It's cool. They figured it out. But, like, Jeremy's secret superpower is for real. He just gonna let you know I'm human, and this what happened. Jay, he told me yesterday, he said, yeah, you know, I was dealing with, you know, like when I was in college in my rookie year and stuff, dealing with the insecurities because of my arm. And I don't know if he, like, said it, like, just, you know, not trying to say it, but I was like, wait a minute, bro, you was already in the league, and he was like, yeah, bro, like, I said, like, what? And he was like, man, you know, like, people looking at my arm, or people thinking something, or you go to try to talk to a girl. Yeah. And I was like, bruh, in my mind, because I watched the story, you Superman the whole time. Like, that's your secret superpower, you not tripping. And you was like, nah, see, you could see pictures where I'm hiding my arm. Yeah. Where even after I'm an All-American, I'm all of these things. And so, the essence of that. And you said, you know, obviously by the grace of God, he was like, yo, I was like, when did it change? I don't think he knew. He was like, you know what, when I got drafted, I was like, okay, y'all can kiss my, you know what I'm saying? But even throughout all of that success, you still had that insecurity, that vulnerability. Yeah. Talk to them about what it was like to deal with that, what it was like to carry that, and from a youngster, what you would have needed from a speaker at that time, if they were to come in and say something to you or impart words to you that would have, you know, changed your life at the time or helped you to feel more confident. What did you need to hear back then, and how were you feeling during that time?
I feel like during the time, what I needed to hear was to embrace who you are. You know, it's not about what you have and don't have, but embrace what you do. And a lot of times, I'm insecure because, you know, I grew up around my peers who didn't look like me. You know, and I used to always feel like, man, I wonder if somebody judged me or feeling sorry for me. It's like, you don't need to feel sorry for me. Like, I'm a dog for real. Like, I'm a dog. And I ain't want nobody feeling sorry for me ever. And that was the whole thing, was I used to hide it because, like, you know what? I want to look as normal as possible. And I didn't even know that I was creating a bad habit for myself by trying to hide. And then going to college, not playing, you know, I went from being highly recruited to not even being known at all. And then, boom, all of a sudden I'm on everybody's radar. I'm on flat screen TVs. I'm on billboards. I'm on cop cars. I'm getting displayed everywhere. And it's just like everything is happening so fast. I didn't know how to even embrace it. I didn't know, like, now the whole world's judging me. Now the whole world is, you know, feeling sorry for me. I didn't know. And so I was like, I tried to hide it a lot of times. And eventually my confidence was starting to build. Like, when I was balling, that dog was just like, hey, bro, you that man now. Like, ain't no point in hiding it. Like, everybody get to see it on full display. It's like, you on mainstream now. And after I got drafted, I was just like, you know what? I'm putting all my sleeves up, all my pictures like this.
Yeah.
You know what's
Yeah, come on, give it up, y'all.
Big question. So my final question for you: what would you say to those in the audience and those listening that's kind of maybe still nervous or unsure about really embracing and sharing their story? What advice would you give them?
Let it go. Let it go. I mean, if you feeling nervous or feeling like you can't get something done, you only really holding yourself back. And that's a lot of times, like, even me not embracing my insecurities, I'm holding myself back. And when I was able to really say, you know what, I'm gonna be full confident in my skin and give what I got, and you take it how you give it, you know. And I'm gonna give y'all who I am. I'm gonna share who I am, and you gonna see what I look like. You know, it doesn't matter what everybody else think. It's about how you feel about it. And as long as you feeling yourself and you being the best version of yourself, it doesn't matter. Like, I had to learn how to quiet the critics and just focus on myself. And after that, my confidence, the way I carry myself, I mean, that's how I met my girl now. She was like, when I met you, you couldn't tell you had one hand. You was the most confident thing in the room. You was like a bright light. But I used to hide it, but now I let my light shine.
Y'all give it up for Shaq, man. Incredible story, incredible young man. Appreciate y'all rocking with us on the Next Level Speakers podcast. Go to nextlevelspeakers.com. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all, man. Give it up for Shaq one more time, y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Jeremy Anderson here, founder of Next Level Speakers Academy. And look, we're always looking to see how we can take to the next level. Me and my team have been meeting, and we said, man, how can we enhance the experience, right? How can we put the people within our community in the best position to get as many opportunities to speak and share their gift and their message with the world? I am pleased to announce that we have just launched our Next Level brand studio. For those of you all that's in the Facebook group and online and send me DM, Jeremy, who did your website? Who does your branding? Who did your EPK? Who does your reel? We now build a team of people that's been working with us for years that's now going to work with you. So for those of you all that want a brand, right? You want a real custom logo and an EPK and business cards. You really want to put yourself in the best position to really be taken seriously. We've got the opportunity for you, right? For those of you that said, man, I need a website that's nice like yours, Jeremy. I don't have as much content, but I got enough to get a really strong website to put me in the best position. Man, we've done so many websites. We've got the team, the crew ready to support you. For those of y'all that realize people don't want to book speakers who are trying to be speakers, they want to book speakers who are already speaking, and you understand the importance of having a real polished and powerful professional speakers reel. Man, we got the team that's been working with me for over a decade, and now my team is your team. So whether you need a brand, a branding and a logo and EPK and all of that, whether you need a brand new website, whether you need a speaker's reel, Next Level Brand Studio is the go-to place for premier speakers like you. It's ready to take your message and your brand and your story to the next level.